Heavy rains flood northern Taiwan, Tamsui hit hard. Controversy as Huang Shan-shan represents Wen-je at U.S. Defense Conference. Biden administration to provide $567 million in military aid to Taiwan. EU pledges to loan Ukraine up to $39 billion. Iran coal mine blast kills dozens. Ukraine bans Telegram app on state-issued devices. Brazil drought threatens coffee farms. Turkey to regulate Germany's beloved street food.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, September 23rd, and here are your top stories. In local news, due to the impact of a tropical depression, heavy rains caused flooding in northern Taiwan, including Tamsui. Local roads, including the Tamsui light rail area, were submerged. KMT legislator Huang reported that floodwaters have since receded and further improvements are being coordinated with local officials. Despite a 3-year suspension from the Taiwan People's Party, legislator黄珊珊represented party chairman Wen-je at a U.S. defense conference. Former legislator Shan-shan criticized the move, calling it inappropriate. The Biden administration is set to offer Taiwan $567 million in security assistance. However, political commentator Wang argues Taiwan should politely decline, stating that accepting free U.S. military equipment sends a negative message. This marks the largest aid under the U.S. Presidential Drawdown Authority. And in global news, the European Union pledged on Friday to lend Ukraine up to 35 billion euros as part of a loan package organized by the group of 7 major industrial nations, aimed at helping the country rebuild its economy and war-shattered power grid. G7 leaders agreed in June to facilitate a $50 billion loan to support Ukraine in its fight for survival. Interest earned from Russia's frozen central bank assets will be used as collateral, but progress in distributing the loans has been slow.
Von der Leyen said that the EU has already provided Ukraine with more than 118 billion euros in military and economic assistance since the war began in February 2022. But Russia's relentless attacks mean further support is necessary. The loans would be underwritten by windfall profits earned on almost $300 billion in Russian assets, which have been frozen due to its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The vast majority of that money is held in EU nations, notably Belgium. The 27-nation bloc hopes other G7 countries will follow its lead and start providing loans as well. Zelensky said his priorities are to rebuild Ukraine's energy network, erect more bomb shelters, improve schools, and acquire more weapons and ammunition.
Iran state media said on Sunday that a gas explosion in a coal mine in Iran's South Khorasan province killed at least 51 people and injured 20. The accident was caused by a methane gas explosion in 2 sections, blocks B and C, of the mine run by the Mondanju company. Of the 47 workers in the affected area, 30 died and 17 were injured. 76% of the country's coal comes from this region, with around 8 to 10 major companies operating there, including the Mondanju company.
The rescue operation in Block B has been completed, and operations in Block C have begun. Methane density in Block C is high, and the operation is expected to take around 3 to 4 hours. There were 69 workers in the blocks at the time of the explosion. According to the head of Iran's Red Crescent, 17 injured people were transported to the hospital, and 24 people are still missing. The explosion occurred at 9 p.m. on Saturday. President Masoud Pezeshkian expressed condolences to the victims' families, stating, "I spoke with ministers, and we will do our best to follow up."
Ukraine has banned government officials, military personnel, and other defense and critical infrastructure workers from installing the popular Telegram messaging app on state-issued devices, citing national security concerns during the war with Russia. The ban was announced Friday by Ukraine's Security and Defense Council in a statement on Facebook. An exception to the ban will be made for those who use the app in their official duties. Ukrainians are still free to use the app on their personal devices.
During a meeting on Thursday, the Security Service of Ukraine and the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine stated that Telegram is actively used by Russia for cyber attacks, phishing, spreading malware, establishing user locations, and calibrating missile strikes. The app is widely used in Ukraine not only for texting but also for reading news, including updates on Russian air attacks. It is also the primary way Ukrainian officials, including President Volodymyr Zelensky, engage with the public and relay war developments. Zelensky is likely to continue using Telegram in his public communications, as it is part of his official capacity.
Silvio Almeida's coffee plantation sits at an ideal altitude on a Brazilian hillside where the clay-rich soil retains moisture from rainfall and a nearby reservoir. Lately, water has been scarce on Almeida's modest farm in Funday, a town in one of Sao Paulo state's key growing regions. He can't get his coffee to grow as it should. Brazil, the world's largest coffee producer, is facing its worst drought in more than 7 decades, along with above-average temperatures. Almeida had expected to harvest 120 sacks of coffee beans this season, but managed just 100.
Brazil's harvest season, which ends this month, was virtually flat compared to last year, and exports surged. However, the ongoing drought is already complicating the start of the 2025-2026 season. At the same time, Vietnam, the world's second-largest coffee producer, is also experiencing heat and drought, affecting its crops. Potential supply shortages in both countries have started driving up global coffee prices. The market is closely monitoring how Brazilian coffee plants endure these adverse climate conditions, which can cause flowers to stop blooming, fail to turn into cherries, or produce lower-quality beans.
Kebab with attitude in Berlin's trendy mid-neighborhood is typical of any street-side stand or restaurant where cooks pile ingredients into pita bread to create the city's beloved doner kebab. However, the snack status could be jeopardized if the European Commission approves Turkey's bid to regulate the doner kebab name. In April, Turkey applied for traditional specialty guaranteed protection for doner kebab, a status below the protected designation of origin that applies to region-specific products like champagne from France.
The word doner is derived from the Turkish verb dönmek, which means to turn. The meat is grilled for hours on a spit and sliced off when it becomes crisp and brown. In Turkey, the dish was originally made of lamb and sold only on a plate. However, in the 1970s, Turkish immigrants in Berlin opted to serve it in a pita and tweaked the recipe to make it special for Berliners. The European Commission must decide by September 24 whether 11 objections to the application, including one from Germany's Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture, have merit. If they do, Germany and Turkey will have up to 6 months to hammer out a compromise. The European Commission has the final say.
The answer for last week was B, philanthropic. The philanthropic organization focuses on helping underprivileged children by providing them with scholarships. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Ukraine bans Telegram app on state-issued devices. Number 1, infrastructure. 基础设施. The government is investing heavily in improving the country's infrastructure. Number 2, exception, 例外. There is an exception to every rule. Number 3, calibrate, 校准. We need to calibrate the equipment before the experiment. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.